take 12. I have tried to do a video of these layouts, get them uploaded for 2 weeks now. I'm gonna shut my trap and go right to these layouts so that I can get them uploaded and into my album. Okay, this layout. It was my grandson's 5th birthday. We usually have him a birthday party, but at 5, everybody was a little bit over it. And I said, hey, Nene, what do you want to do? You want to have a party and we'll wrap your presents up and we'll invite people over? Or would you like to go to Toys R Us and pick out your own presents? Thank heavens he picked the shopping spree, because I just wasn't in the mood. His birthday's in August, and whenever I tend to overdo things, I don't know. I don't know if it's the hillbilly in me or the Italian in me or the Italian hillbilly. But I can't just have people over for cake and ice cream. No, 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 no. I have to cook for 2 weeks prior. I have to spend hundreds of dollars on decorations and macaroni and cheese and chicken and blah blah. And what about people who don't like chicken? We better have burgers and hot dogs. That's what I sound like. Can you imagine listening to that for a month? What we did is got him a cake, and it was a nice little event. We went to Toys R Us. He loaded up the cart. It was still cheaper than what we normally do. And this picture happens to be, we stopped at that Five Guys and a Fry, or that restaurant place, to get a carryout order on the way home. And we were sitting in the car waiting for our order to get done. Well, my grandson's 5 years old. He could not wait to get home to open some of his presents. So we let him open up the Nerf gun. Hence this picture. My son actually took this picture with his iPhone or Bayberry, Blackberry, Cadbury phone. I don't know, but it does all kinds of things. And he was in the front seat and Nate was in the back. And this turned out so good, I actually took one where he's trying to shoot me. Anyway, the layout says, go ahead, punk. Make my 5th birthday. And I'm really dating myself on this layout, aren't I? Because this is something that Clint Eastwood, who is also known as Dirty Harry, said in one of his movies. It was a classic statement. Go ahead, punk, make my day. And that's just what came to mind when I saw this picture. Real easy layout to do. The picture is a 5x7. The balloons were cut with my Cricut Expression. I used the Create a Critter cartridge. I used stickles as the little ties or lines on strings. They're called strings. On the balloons. And the font is Bella Boulevard Campy, something or another. But I love the size of this font. And look at all that white space. Patty would certainly be proud of me. Anyway, that's that layout. Oh, surprise, surprise, another layout of my grandson. This was taken last year. The background, this paper, and this paper is from the Brights Die Cuts with a View paper stack. This ledger paper, which you'll see better in a moment here, I ran all the way through here. That is from Prima Ledger paper packet. I cannot tell you where this orange is from. It was in my scraps, but you know what? It is a recent collection, I believe. Anyway, guys, I'm sorry. The clouds are Studio Calico clouds. The frame is from Melissa Francis, and I use Zing embossing powder, butter opaque finish to emboss this. This ephemera is from the K and Company, one of those little ephemera packets. The rub-on over here is Hambly. Let me zoom in. The brads are Pebbles. See those little photo corners? They also came from the ephemera pack. That's actually a picture of my son rock climbing. The fonts, the orange is from Lily Bee, and the brown font is from Webster's Pages. Happy is from Stickos, and my buddy Laura, who is Dacella with numbers behind it, sent that to me in one of her first giveaways. And see all the little words there? That also came from the ephemera pack. Of course, I ran a black line on the outside of my paper, and there's that 12 by 12. I call it Like Father, Like Son, because my grandson had climbed that rock to get to the top, and you can see the little picture in the circle is my son rock climbing. I wish I could say I'm some great rock climber too, but the best I ever do is to trip on rocks. Here's another 12 by 12 layout, and I'll let you get a nice full shot of it, and then I'll zoom in. Once again, this is my grandson. Last year, my son and grandson went to the park, and they went creeking. Oh, my son used to love to go play in the creek when he was younger, and frankly, I think him taking his son to the creek was just a reason for him to creek again after all these years. Anyway, the black cardstock is from Neutrals Die Cuts with a View paper stack. I do not recommend them for backgrounds, but I have so many solid color cardstock paper stacks from Die Cuts with a View, I've got to use them up. My preference now is basil cardstock, like the textured cardstock, avalanche white. There's one called coconut fluff, and also Coordinations also puts out a great solid color cardstock. But I've got all that stuff from Die Cuts with a View and the stacks, and I just can't throw it away. That stuff is great if you're using a Cricut and need to cut out stuff, but I have so much I have to use it as my backgrounds. This, guys, it's very embossed. No sparkle, the gray paper I'm talking about, but I forget the brand and the collection line. I think it's by Doodlebug. I'm not sure. I did this so long ago, I don't remember a lot of the products that I used. This, of course, is Thickers. I wrote on here, you're on your own, and you know what you know. And you are the guy who will decide where to go. That is from Oh, the Places You'll Go by Dr. Seuss. And you'll see across the top here, the little yellow strip is from Echo Park, I think. I am not sure. I could not tell you where that green and black flower circle came from. See the little film strip and the gray tape? That is from Etsy.com. Pretty tape. The little three little people holding hands is Amy Tan's Stitched Paper Come Together. The flowers are Studio Calico notions. I actually altered this photo using Photoshop, and I'm going to be doing some tutorials on Photoshop, guys, and how to do this to your pictures. Until then, why not check out Picasa, Picasa.com. It does some very easy and awesome photo editing to your pictures. These little stripes right here are from BoBunny Ad Lib collection. I cut them out, went around the edges with my black Sharpie marker, and I always put the year on there. Now, I would have put the date and the month, but I have other pictures that will be placed nearby this or right with it, and it says September. So there's that layout. I really love the black and gray and yellow. Gosh, I like this layout. This is one of my big girl layouts, I would say. And here is another 12 by 12 layout of my grandson when him and Dad went creeking. The background paper is Coordinations Olive. You can see, and I'll zoom in a minute, up here I did some stamping, and I used clear UT embossing powder. The stamp that I used, oh darn, is from Glitz Design, and it's called Distressed. This, I used white embossing powder, and that was Zing. Zing embossing powder by American Crafts. Has to be one of my all-time favorite embossing powders. I've had so much bad luck with other embossing powders. Zing is about all I buy now. The stamp is Melissa, it's either Melissa Francis or Jenny Bolin, and it says True Story Document. Really love that stamp. This is from the Simple Stories, and I think that's either Simple Stories Yearography. I may be wrong, but it's definitely Simple Stories. This paper, Simple Stories. I distressed around the edges, ran my paper piercer through, and then went back with my Signo Uniball gel pen to make it look like stitches. This little butterfly is from October Afternoon Sidewalks, as is this. The bingo things here are from Simple Stories Yearography, and I'll scroll down. My little scallop thing there, and here is from October Afternoon Sidewalks. This is the Hello collection of thickers by Amy Tangerine. And the zipper, guys, I got that off of scrapbook.com, and I think it's called Cambridge by BoBunny. I could not tell you about the jewels on here, but they're pretty easy to find. The ledger paper is from my Prima ledger paper stack. Now let's get a full picture of this. There you go. And now let's zoom in. My little letters there, Miami Whitewater, those are from Glitz Designs, and I love them. They stick well, they do not come off, they are a nice weight, and I really like their tiny type letters. That's Glitz Designs. You'll see I used a little brown paint up there in the corner. I splattered a little around my story, or true story. These are really, really neat. I don't know if you'll be able to see the white stitching around those thickers. I hope so. I really like this font. I wished I would have got more, but that's Thickers, and I believe it's the Hello collection. And again, it's a 12 by 12 layout. That's a 5 by 7 inch picture. Now, talk about a lazy layout. Oh, it doesn't get any easier than this. This is the Miss Caroline collection, paper for the background. All of the 1, 2, 3, 4 tags on here are also from My Mind's Eye, Miss Caroline. This is the red and white polka dot Miss Caroline collection on the bright side. That's a 5 by 7. This is a 4 by 6. And this is self-explanatory, guys. I had laid those little signs on the paper next to the pictures, gathering up stuff to use on this layout, and I thought, that's kind of cute just as it is. So I used those, matted the 5 by 7 because that's my focal picture. See the numbers and the splatter? That is also from the stamp set I just mentioned before, Glitz Design Distressed. It actually has 4 separate stamps in that set, and they're all very, distressed, boyish looking. Guys, I apologize for the noise outside my door. I live in direct line of the high school, and unfortunately the noisy kids are on their way home from school. Anyway, I used my Versamark and my white Zing embossing powder opaque finish to do that, and then I drew around the edges. See, I outlined the edges, and that's a major picture. And put a few notes from September 2011, Nate and Dad at Creakin' Day. Very easy to put together. Okay guys, another 12 by 12. It's from the same day. Dad and Nate go to the creek. This is a 12 by 12. The background paper is Coordinations by Tim Holtz. It's called Crimson. That's the color. The leaves are Prima Autumn leaves. The cardstock that looks like wood is from the Miss Caroline collection. So much for my repositional dots. It's from the Miss Caroline collection. I cut them individually, staggered them, so it looked like a bunch of wood sitting up against a fence or something. I outlined the pieces using my Sharpie black marker. The thickers, I do not know the name of them, but they are chipboard, and they were very red, but I took some sandpaper and roughed them up a little. Adventures with Dad. There's there. I distressed the edges of my photographs using my scissors. I did poke holes into the photograph and went around the holes to make it look like stitches using my Signo Uniball gel marker pen, but that still didn't look right. So I just went back and put a lot of the white ink around the edges. Okay, and here's the bottom. I just tucked some flowers in there, or flowers. What are those things? They're on trees. They turn in the fall. Leaves. They're called leaves. Leaves for the win, Alex. Anyway, there you go. And that's my layout. That middle is a 4x6. The two pictures on either side were 4x6, and I just cut them down a little bit. Once again, pretty easy to put together. And what video by me would be complete if I didn't do a double page layout? Okay, this is a double page 12 by 24 inch layout. It's on Basil Craft cardstock as the background. I used the Miss Carolyn collection by Mind's Eye on the bright side for my font. Now I cut that using my Cricut Expression, and I welded some of the letters, but I cut it twice, once using the Miss Caroline red and white paper and once using solid white paper. Then I just staggered it a little bit as I glued them together to give it that shadow look. I did not use the shadow function. I just cut two sets the exact same size, the exact same way, and staggered it a little. I learned that trick from Nicole McGorrick, who used to be one of the garden girls for Two Peas in a Bucket. In fact, she still may be. I will put that link to Nicole's channel down below. I really love her layouts. Anyway, talk about using up your stash. Anyone remember the magic mesh? Well, that was one of those things that I just had to have. I gotta get it. And then when I found it, I bought like a couple of packages of each color, red, blue, white, green. And this is probably the second layout I ever used it on. The last layout was like 5 years ago. Anyway, it did come in handy for this layout. I love the look of red and white on craft cardstock. This is self-explanatory, guys. Here's a stamp I used. It's from Stamping Bella, and it says, "Oh, the places you'll go, Dr. Seuss." I actually used my Alabaster chalk ink for that. I put a little journaling here, Miami Whitewater Park, September of 2011. Oh, here we go, catastrophe. Hang on, guys. And the title says, "Onward Up Many a Frightening Creek." My thing keeps falling, guys. Hang on. Let's drop it down. My title is actually taken from Dr. Seuss's "Oh, the Places You'll Go." And it says, "Onward up many a frightening creek, though your arms may get sore and your sneakers may leak." And I thought that was just so appropriate for these pictures. That's it for me this time, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it got your creative juices flowing. I hope you do a layout. That's why I share my layouts, is I hope it gets you guys thinking about pictures you've got to put down on paper. And that's not the only reason I scrapbook. There's a million reasons. Hey, and if you want to know why people scrapbook, you should check out MercyTiara's scrapbook page challenge. MercyTiara, here's her channel name. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments or whatever, private message me or leave a comment and I'll get back to you as soon as my little fingers can. Hope you're all having a wonderful week. Thank you so much for subscribing and commenting and being my buddy. Talk to you soon.